Tonight's show, we have the energy forecast for the week, and we have guest Heather. We do tag team readings and talk about everything spiritual coming up right now.
Let's abandon human nature for a mystical adventure. We're building on a vulture.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's your all week been? I think I got it right this time. It's been an interesting week, and we're in that, like I said before, we're getting that fragmentation phase into integration. We're starting to now understand what it's like to peel away those layers, flick away all the things that have been maybe too cumbersome for us emotionally, and we're now finding our integration of what we need to do and what we need to participate in. And so we have an interesting... trying to find my chat. Interesting week ahead, actually. And so we'll get into that with the collective read for the week. And we have Heather Exposito on. We're going to be doing tag team readings, but before that, we'll be talking everything kind of spiritual. And so make sure you get your questions in. Let me get my overlays up now too, because this way you can see. I'm kind of a mess today, guys. So we've had a power outage right before, so just kind of winging it today. But if you want to get your questions in with Heather and I, it's 25 for one question, 35 for two questions, and 50 for the live video for both of us. You'll be getting two reads, one with me, the psychic aspect, and then the astrological aspect. So if you want to get your questions in, the PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below. And please make sure you include within your comment or question your date of birth, day, time, and place. This way Heather can look up your chart and we can assist and tag team with the readings, both psychic and also with the astrological aspects of things. And where are my cards? And so I'm going to say hello to everyone in the room. I really don't, we're going to kind of ease up and trip up on the time as far as like who's in the room. Everyone who's here, welcome aboard, I would say. I'm not going to do so much shout out today until later. And again, our wonderful Mod Nina is in the room. If you have any questions about how to get a question in or what to do with the question, she will be able to assist you on that and get that all on board for you all. So let's shuffle these cards and let's see what the simple readings for the week. We're just going to do a simple energy forecast for this week ahead. I already did that in our June energy forecast, but there's additional information we want to talk about. Let's see. Let's shuffle these cards, huh? Shall we? Okay. Which I am not surprised we got the two of Pentacles coming here. All right, so a lot of what we've been experiencing, like I said before, and I made a video today about simplification. Like we should be focusing on simplifying. And a lot of that simplification is not so much about the things that are external around you or the relationships around you. It's really more about simplifying things with yourself and your own position with yourself. And, a lot of things that I think that people tend to overlook when it comes to their well-being is their health. Like they could completely be putting more emphasis into their health, whether you're healthy or not, and maintain your well-being and understanding, do I need to revamp my diet? Do I need to kind of go out and be more active and have more exercise? Do I need to focus more on my mental health? And perhaps I'm overloading myself and over-consuming myself with information that's not really helping. And am I just getting information like a cesspool of information of conspiracy theories and historical stuff that just isn't providing much inspiration for me? I'm just kind of hoarding information, as I said before, that many people are doing that, and they're not necessarily getting themselves out of their spiritual and soul ruts, in a sense. So simplifying means we actually are peeling those layers away and identifying those things that are cumbersome energetically and intellectually for us, and allowing ourselves to find the balance. Because I always say that the position and the mastery here is to be objective and unaffected. That's wonderful, but we also have to understand the timings of things that we don't really need to participate in. Because when you get yourself to a level of mastery where you can watch the news and not be affected by that, or hear about certain situations about people, not be affected by that, there's a process that you need to go through to get to that level of objectivity. And if you're not there, that means there needs to be a period where you tune it off and shut it off. And so right now it's the time to shut those things down and simplify so you understand what's most important. Okay, the connections, the relationships that are most important, the decisions that you're making that is most important. But I'm going to say, collectively, we need to be focusing financially right now. We need to be really focusing on our financial well-beings, all of us collectively. Things are tight, right? And so as we're fragmenting and as we're kind of pulling those layers away, we also have to look at the things that we're spending on. And are we spending our money on things that are valuable? Are we spending money on things that are necessary or not? and really simplifying getting hold of our financial well-being, because when we start understanding what fragmentation means, it means that you're peeling those layers away, you're looking at things objectively, but you're also able to see, oh, you know what, these are things that I don't need in my life, but these are things I'm spending on that I don't need to be spending things on, and you can be more objective in that sense to recognize what's been stressing you out more so, or over encumbering you with anxiety and stress and uncertainty, because you haven't allowed yourself to focus on what is before you, what is in front of you, because so many people, especially in the spiritual communities, are so focused on, I need something else, I need to get this, I need to manifest this, all that bullshit. People are so focused on that, they're neglecting the need and the nurturing that's required in the current relationships you have with your health, with your money, with your overall mental health, your overall well-being, the simplicity of what's before you. Because the only way you can actually allow yourself to proceed and to integrate is to have that soul foundation intact, mentally, spiritually, physically. Okay. And so this is the week that we have to do that. And as I said in a video I just posted, earlier today, is that when we carve out that space that, that's been kind of congesting things, we carve that space out, we're allowing the space for other things to come in to replace it that's really necessary. And we want to be very intentional about that. We're in control of all that. And so, I see a lot of things online where people don't think they are in control of these things. They don't think they do have the level of ability to dictate what comes in and what comes out. They have to, wish upon a star in order for things to come to experience, while they sit back and they don't do any of that inner work or that shadow work that we need to be really addressing. And that shadow work is simplistically talking about the aspects of yourself that you've left dormant for so long that you haven't attended to. And when that shadow is not attended to, and you don't shine light on that shadow, it's going to run amok. It's going to do its things. It's going to scare you. It's going to contaminate. It's going to maybe even bask in situations to where it shouldn't be basking, to where you're not allowing yourself to see the truth or clarity in a situation. And that's going to kind of like overshadow a lot of things. And so we have to do the shadow work to understand the versions of ourselves that we've left unattended and that we didn't participate in. I keep saying the word participation like all freaking year because I feel like people are not showing up. They're phoning it in. There's a lot of posers out there in our spiritual communities, right? And so they're just saying the good things, they're parroting the good information, but behind the scenes, are they living that life? And 90% of the times they say, no, they're not. No, they're not. And we'll get into that, because Heather and I have a lot to say about that too. We'll get into that as well. But you all need to have that keen discernment on understanding that in your life, and whether or not you're engaging and saturated in these false premises, these ideas that you think that are supposed to be fulfilling and not guiding you, what they're not. And so that's when we go back to basics. We simplify and understand the core of who we are. And when I say that, I know it sounds cliche, but the core of who you are is what you feel. And who you are is your health. Who you are is your mental health. Who you are is, the things that you actually surround yourself with, and your pains, your pleasures. All that stuff is who you are. Get to know that again. It's not overly philosophical. It's very fucking simple. And so, and that is the point of the message, is to simplify. So the structure of this is rather simple. And so for this rest of this week, I want you guys to really be focusing on this, being key on this, because it's not even just relationships you might have to simplify or cut out. It could be ideas. It could be beliefs that you have, or certain projections that you do for yourself that's just very limiting or very sabotaging, that you might have to address, then eliminate. I did it backwards. And that is a time that we need to be focusing on, because as come July, and I'll just kind of give you like a little bit of a spoiler alert for July. July would be my integration to celebration phase. So we feel integrated now. We feel like we've kind of made the space for that. We start to integrate and start celebrating the wonderful energy of collaboration with others, a wonderful energy of knowing your space, your place, right? And feel like you're in your zone, so to speak, right? And that's more of July's energy, which we'll get into more specifically next month as it comes ahead. But these are the things to focus on. And there's going to be a lot of chaos right now, guys, too. And I just wanted I'll close this with this. There'll be a lot of chaos, a lot of fragmentation. There'll be a lot of glitches, a lot of bumping of heads during this time, too, because when people are peeling things away, they're eliminating certain aspects, certain relationships, certain components. Other people may not like it. Or there might be, because the relationship has been lingering so long, there might need to be this kind of bumping of heads to push it away, so it finally eliminates from your experience. So there's so many different ways these disconnections will manifest if you're not being conscious of eliminating them for yourself in its own natural, organic way. It will happen in more of like rug being pulled beneath you sort of way. So, and this will make people very clumsy energetically and clumsy intellectually. And so be aware of that. People might be overlooking things that need to be paying attention on because of this energy of, needing to make these shifts and changes. And so a lot of people will be careless. So I also been seeing a lot of tech issues as well during this time. People get into accidents. Like I said, there was a power outage just a couple hours before the show because an animal, got caught in the wiring systems or something of that nature. So I'm like, just the energy is very fragmented. So during this time, if you simplify, and I don't want to say isolate, because remember what COVID did to us, it forced us to simplify, it forced us to isolate and look within and to adjust. And a lot of people made the realization, I don't want to live here, I want to move, or made the realizations of this is not the right relationship for me, I'm moving on to another relationship. Think of that similar energy of simplify and kind of somewhat in an isolation period to fragment, so then you can integrate, right? That's the formula right now. And by the end of this month, you guys will feel free if you guys do this process of any type of anchorage that you've had in your life. You feel more free and more open to having and seeing that flow and that dance of integration with other people, as well as other circumstances in your life that are more pleasurable, but again, more reflective in alignment to who you truly are now. Not then, but now. Okay, so that's my simple just energy forecast of the week. And so here's a simple message from Nina Collective. She's back, guys, because she moved and she's back. She set it all in, and then we get back from Nina. We'll have Heather on and we'll shoot the shiz. Okay, very 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 relaxed show tonight. But here's a message from Nina.
Thursday crew, I am glad to be back and doing a collective message, tapped in fresh. When I tapped into the collective of today and I was talking to spirit and my guides, I kept hearing allow yourself to be and embrace being multifaceted, multidisciplinary, or being someone who's not just confined to one role or one subject of study or of interest. Like, I kept hearing it's okay to be a tarot master who also does sound healing and also does art, for example. This kind of multidisciplinary aspect of you, I heard is ready to at least be loved by you before fully integrated later on. It just wants to be loved and kind of seen and heard, because what came through is the inner child, and the inner child said, I'm so big, I am so large, my energy body is so full of wisdom, so multifaceted, that I want to be able to carry this identity and energy with me going forward. And last night when I was resting and doing my intuitive art, this artwork came through that I made, and at first when it came out, it was all these multiple faces and these multiple aspects, and there was almost like a rejection at first because of the reds and the intensity of the images that I drew. And then I realized, no, this is my inner child coming out, almost even with some passion or for some frustration even, around these old parts of me, or these different emotions of me, or these different aspects of me being suppressed for so long. And I drew it, and at first it looks jarring because of the reds and the different faces, and I realized all of these are parts of me. The good, the bad, the ugly, the bold, the suddenness, the imperfection, but these are all interests, these are all aspects of me that want to come out. And Spirit said that's part of the collective message that you're meant to share for today. Allow yourself the next few weeks to just embrace it, even if it's not integrated yet. Just embrace that you are multifaceted, you are multi-hyphenated, and you are big enough to begin to carry and express all of that. 222 on the timer as I finish. Love y'all and see y'all in the chat.
All right. I love the 222. That's my birthday, 2282. What's going on, Heather? How's it going, girl? Oh, wait. Sorry. I had you muted, so we have to try to do it again. There you go. How's it going, girl?
I can say again, just as cheerful. Hi, Scott Cruz.
How's it going? So there's
it's going great.
That's awesome. There's a lot of people that already know you in the chat, too. But for those who don't know, give me a little bit of a background of who you are and what you do.
Yeah. Well, I always say first and foremost, I am a mom and a fiance, because those are like my two most important things is my home life. I love my home life. I've been a hairstylist for 22 years. So I've been behind the chair doing hair, and a lot of the people I've had in my chair I've had for 22 years.
Nice.
And I say that because that's a big deal, right? To have that connection with people. And then I'm also what I like to call an astro-intuitive. So I pay attention, I watch the astrology, I study the astrology, but I usually use a lot of my own intuition to do guidance and readings, and not live, eat, breathe, and die on the astrology.
I love that, because I think a lot of people, the astrology can show a lot as far as transits and certain moments, but it's not the end all be all, right?
It never is. And that was one of the first things I learned, because when I jumped into this, I'm like, oh my God, Mercury's in retrograde, I can't go anywhere. And I had this teacher who was in her, I had this teacher that was in her 80s, and she had studied, she was using books and paper graphs when she started, right?
Wow.
She was one of my first teachers, and she said, okay, listen, if you're going to do that, astrology's not for you. I'm like, okay, I won't do that. And I stopped right there. Like, you just can't live like that.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that, that's why it's good to have, like, I would say, when we do tag team reads with astrologer and a psychic, because you're getting the psychic and get more of the personal trajectory of the details too, that the astrologer can't. But I like that more and more people astrology is becoming more mainstream, I would say. More and more people are interested, more and more people are wanting to know how things are really connected, which I think is a wonderful thing, that people are becoming more fascinated about that. But, I would say when you look at the astrology or someone's chart, how much do you say is predictable in the future, say, versus what a psychic can do? Is it really kind of aligning in the future, or is there certain aspects of it that is more vague, and is it more specific on certain aspects when it comes to the future with astrology?
You know what? I'm going to be honest, and this is just my opinion. I would listen to a psychic, like a good, renowned psychic, honestly, like yourself, more than I would eat, live, and breathe by the astrology, because the astrology offers you an opportunity. It's what you do with it, right? So the opportunity could be like, oh, you're going to travel. But if you are this hermit that wants to stay inside all the time, and you don't go anywhere, you're terrified to fly, well, that doesn't work, right? So the psychic is going to come in, and the psychic is going to say, hey, I'm seeing that, like, you have opportunity to travel, but you're like terrified. Let's talk about why you're terrified.
Yeah, because I've had a lot of clients even do that. They're like, oh, such and such is such a node, and I'm the language I'm not so proficient in with it, and they're like, I'm supposed to have this relationship break up. I'm like, no, I said it's more about changing communication in your relationships, because I see da 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 da, and I could pick out the specific people, and it's actually more about communication change, not an ending of relationship. So I think it's a good tag team, I would say, when it comes to astrology and psychics, and I think that what keeps us both in tune. I would say the astrology has always been a great blueprint, and then, if you need a certain blueprint, and that's great, it works. And if you need a psychic more specific to read specific people in that regard, and the collaboration, the chemistry, I think that's where we come in. So both are hugely beneficial, and I just love seeing it rise, to the astrology.
Yeah. And, I think with the astrology too, I actually really love it for an explanation. Like, I have a 29-degree Mercury in Sagittarius. Well, that's probably why I can't watch my mouth sometimes. Or if I'm like, I just have to say something, and I have to send that text. I can't not say it. And that's my explanation. I don't blame it on that. It's not my crutch, but it's kind of my explanation for it. Rather than like predictive. So I'm not saying I don't believe in predictive. I do, and it happens all the time with astrology. But it also doesn't happen all the time. I mean, I remember one of our last major political races, it was like 50-50 who was going to win and who wasn't. And I don't know, so I think it's all opportunity.
Yeah,
and what do you do with it?
100%. But I think that people have to understand too, this is what I like to say too with prediction, not every prediction, and everything's set in stone. We also have free will to navigate, but there's certain premises that may be set in stone, I tell people. Or we can, as a psychic, I can read what's rendering, and you may not like what's rendering, so we can help to navigate out of that type of trajectory that might be rendering the way you don't prefer. And so I would say astrology has been great to understand what the strong currents to utilize. Right. And so if there's something within the astrology that says like communication issues or breakup, I'm like, well, that's the time you want to learn about communication, because it can go in either direction, and so, so I, as someone who behind the scenes is, proficient about astrology. What bugs you the most about mainstream astrology and the gurus out there that, is there a lot of like misinformation with certain current astrology, astrologers out there? And do you see kind of things that kind of make you bite your tongue, like, they're feeding people the wrong information?
Yeah, I bite my tongue all the time. Like, there's holes in it. There's chunks of my tongue missing. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here I am. I'm like very wishy-washy, and this is all in my astrology chart too, why I'm so wishy-washy. I have a ton of mutable energy for anybody that knows what that means. Okay, so at first when I was like hearing so much like TikTok astrology,
right.
I'm like, God, that is so basic, bitch. Like, what? And I would have to hear it actually all day. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like this is... Yeah. That's not even true. You can't hear, oh, they're a Scorpio. Like, right. Scorpios are lovely. Right. They're lovely. Right. They're highly intuitive. They're lovely, whatever. But there's that, there's all of that stereotype that goes on with it. And I think that's right. What bugs me is the stereotyping in, like, mainstream astrology. Because it's so much more complex than that.
It totally is, yeah. It's solely sensationalized. Yeah. It's solely sensationalized. But again, the dichotomy of that and the duality of that is that that's the shitty part, but at least people are looking into it, right? And it's like,
so that's why I'm so wishy-washy on this, because if they're looking into it, that means that they care about connecting somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta like guide them over this way. Like, no, don't read that. Read this,
right?
Or
And have you noticed more people know their rising signs now? I've noticed a lot of more people, before I'm like, I'm Aquarius, and now like I'm Aquarius with Virgo rising. Well, that's me, but I'm like, people know more about their moon, and I think that's a wonderful thing, because I feel like, and maybe you can just give me your perspective on this too, that I feel like consciousness is evolving to where people are becoming more of a norm for people to understand psychic ability, mediumship ability, astrology. It's become more of a kind of default norm now that people don't question whether it exists or not. I think that's become more mainstream. So I think that now we're starting to notice it would be, I feel like in the next 5 years, it would be more implemented in our society, it being as more of a norm, being psychic and medium intuitive. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I totally agree. And I definitely notice that people know their big three, right? Their sun, moon, rising. Like, they know that right off the bat.
Right.
And I think that kind of corresponds with, if we look at how psychology is developed, right? Psychology has grown into this like intricate subject of this person has this emotional issue and this, and it's like, it's so great because we're actually understanding humans. Whereas there was a time period where like, they invented the microwave. They're like, just shove it in the microwave, dinner in the microwave. And everybody's intuition was off like in this time period. But before that, intuition was up. And now it's like we're moving away from like the microwave era,
right.
Little bit.
Right.
Does that make sense? That's my way of thinking about it. I'm like, we're moving out of that like easy peasy TV dinner, and we're like back to kind of, we're trying to go back there.
And I agree, because I've noticed that in my sessions too, because back in the day when I was starting, I was the influx of reality TV people, wanting readings. It was all about my boyfriend coming back, and, you don't have anything set for me. Like, now people kind of understand, I know there's free will. I know that everything's set in stone. I'm like, yeah, but I can still predict for you though too. Like, now I'm kind of like, people are understanding more of the free will, understanding more of the concept of, just life and the spiritual aspects, which I think is awesome, and so like I think you and I were talking about this before, how I want people who are proficient in these abilities and mystical abilities to rise up and to put themselves on a platform or share it in their daily lives, so it becomes more of a norm for other people around too. Like, that helps. Do you talk this with your clients, with your hair clients? Do you get to like have spiritual chatter and kind of bring them some enlightenment to it, some sort of interests when it comes to that?
I do, for sure. I would say it's like 50-50. I have some that there's like zero chatter about that.
Right,
and it's all like, the basic stuff. And then, 50% it goes on. But you know what I do? Because I'm like the weirdo Sagittarius. I go up to people at the, that's just like selling something at, one of my daughter's dance competitions. I'm like, you're really special. You're highly intuitive. You really have a gift. Like, I do it to those average people because it's important that people doing average jobs, what I'm going to call average jobs, know that they're light workers, and it is time for them to shine, and it is time for them to rise up. And even if it's in that job that they're in, and kind of like to what you said, you know, people are so mindful nowadays of like, oh, I know free will, I know this, I know that. And you're like,
right.
okay, well, you know, what do you want me for then? And it's like, well, are they walking the walk though? You know?
And that's the thing, because one thing I was saying, people have struggled navigating. Right. You know, they can learn about all the transits, all the astrological terminology, all the quantum physics that I used to talk about all the time, too, all the history, the Palladians, all that conspiratorial things. They can sit in a cesspool of information, learning and learning and learning, but that's not teach them how to navigate. And I see people in a lot of these spiritual communities like bickering and arguing about certain fact that's never been proven before, just these theories they want to argue about. It's like, is that really helping you to navigate? Like, that could be fun, but people are so buried thinking that's spirituality. And, you know, and I say, like, we need to tell people how to navigate. So like you were saying, like, you're trying to implement, you're telling people you're intuitive, and when someone hears that, never heard it before, never tapped into it, like, oh my God, some weird person said I'm intuitive. What do I do with this? Right. And so, and that makes them want to go and to explore. But you and I also have an opinion about like a lot of the fake gurus out there, right? And a lot of the people misleading people for sensationalism, right? What's your spin on when you see these gurus? And what can you tell people, and from your perspective too, as someone who is also intuitive, like how can people spot out these phonies and fakes?
Yeah, well, I think right now that the world is really craving people to be stand out that haven't stood out before. It's really, really, really easy for some people to get on camera like this and just regurgitate words, like you just said, words, and they're wordsmiths and they know all the lingo. But like, research these people and see what their lives are really about. What are they really doing? Because I promise, if you research me, I'll say it right now, like I mean, I'm your above average person, but I am your average person. I won't say I'm average, but you know what I mean? I am a mom, right? I'm a dance mom, I'm a soccer mom, I'm a tennis mom. I do hair. Like, I am walking a very normal, like, but elevated and heart-centered life, right? So research the people that you're listening to, because so many people get out there. I mean, even people not on camera. We have loudmouth friends. We all have them. And they just talk, and sometimes it's politically, sometimes it's spiritually, and they just regurgitate stuff. And we've seen it with the political scene majorly, right?
100%.
That's how all this false info gets spread. And it's like, where did you get that from?
Right. And I think that, you know, being mystical, right, is aloof enough, I would say, coming from an Aquarius, right? But when we're talking about like what these certain aliens may not be doing or certain things, like I used to be so heavily into that, and I realized it's just keeping the cycle of like illusions, and it's not like concrete for us, you know? And so I think that if people are looking for any type of guidance, the question I would also say, are they helping you to guide you into becoming more like them, or to become like them in the sense of more intuitive, more psychic? Are they trying to push you to navigate you into becoming a better version, or is it just a cesspool of information and buy a course? And, you know, and not that people are selling courses are bad. I'm just saying, just being more discerning of that, because I just been seeing an influx of that, Heather. And it's just like, it bugs me, because I'm like, I think I have to do what I'm doing to make sure I'm counteracting a lot of that stuff, who are money hungry and all about the corporate, you know, the capitalistic aspects of spirituality. And not that that's bad, but there's a fine line, you know?
It's a fine line. And I was just going to say, it's a fine line. It's like, it's just like being on social media for just a normal person that's not in the spiritual world. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to have abs, and I'm supposed to be tan, and I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to be all these things. And it's like, we get sucked into these funnels of like how we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be making money. But it's like, is it authentic? Is it an integrity? I love looking into aliens and like conspiracy theories and all that weird shit. I love it. But like, I leave it there. Like, if I'm sick in bed, I will. A week ago, I was sick in bed, and my fiance came in. I'm like, I'm watching weird shit, okay? But I'm sick, and I need to watch this weird shit.
Right. Yes.
It was like about cults. And he's like, yes, good, no problem. It's like, you got to leave it there, though. You can't live in it, and you can't build a foundation of fear on it to have people come to you because they're in fear that all of this stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And speaking of cults, because I mean, I've been in part of one myself, and you've witnessed. You said you had a lot of stories of witnessing, some cult behavior, and so and this, I think you can see the patterns of cult-like behavior. And I just want to kind of concur what you were saying about it's good to have information, it's good to have knowledge, but keep it in the place it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, your goal is to navigate. Your goal is to be insightful, intuitive in your own life, and it's good to have different awarenesses, right? And so I've been saying for the past 5 years, I've been like, a lot of people think what they're studying is like the quantum physics is somehow spiritual, and I'm like, it's not, but it's not bad to learn about it, but saturating yourself in it doesn't mean like I'm spiritual now because I'm just reciting information. I think a lot of people are just trying to get into spirituality, get intimidated by that, and so they go the other direction.
Yes.
And I want to simplify. And so, tell me about this, because I didn't want you to share it to me before, but this cult energy that you've witnessed, like what did you see, and what was like the key traits that people can pick up on and see if they're in a cult at all, in a sense? Well,
without revealing too much personal information, I was not part of the cult, but
you witnessed, right?
It's what I believe to be a cult, and it rhymes with Myentology. Because I won't say it out loud because I don't want to get.
I've been a part of that. I've studied by the way. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we could have a full conversation about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I've definitely been in front row seats of the effects of that, and someone very close to me that grew up in it and dealt with the effects of it. And I'm just going to say everything that you see on the documentaries is 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've been part of Scientology. I've done that and studied Dianetics, Ron Hubbard's books, and I used to go there because I was like, that's when I got out of the Christian cult of the Pentecostal Christian cult, and then I went atheist, and then I'm like, I feel too stupid as atheist. Then I went spiritual Buddhism, and I fell upon Scientology, and there was a lot of great teachings within it. I'm like, okay, this is like great about natural law and all this wonderful stuff about the power of the mind and all that great stuff. I'm like, so it was good to attach to that, but the system itself, it was like pulling more money from me.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I paid all these courses, and like, well, you need to buy more courses. I'm like, I already just spent $500 this week. Well, I said, I have rent to pay. And they literally said, well, what's more important, your education or your rent? I said, my rent. He's like, well, why don't you pay the books first and then find rent later? I'm like, are you kidding me? And they actually literally asked me how much was in my bank account. I said,
did they say you don't have to? You don't have to pay rent. We have a ship you can go live on and work on. And we'll cover your rent.
Yeah, they didn't go that far with me, because I was just like, it's none of your business in my bank account, And then I came in one time, like 5 minutes late. They came in and scolded me like I was like in high school. I said, let me tell you something. I said, I'm paying your bills. I'll come 5 minutes late from work if I need to, and you're going to be okay with that, And so then they came a week later saying, you can't continue here any longer. And I said, it's because I called you out, won't pay any money, right? And I still to this day get phone calls from like events from their thing, so but that was my experience with the people. And of course, I was realizing I was cult bouncing is what I was doing, from the Christian Pentecostal cult and ritualistic abuse I experienced, and the exorcism and possessions, and then that Scientology. And I mean, and definitely seeing people being manipulated, controlled, right? Exploiting their empathy to control them, and you got to pay for this otherwise, you got to pay for that otherwise. And so if you don't do this, then you won't be free, and get money now, all that stuff, all that grifting energy has been saturated in our communities. And I was just saying, we need more people like you who do have the natural instinctual abilities to come out and spread it in your communities, spread it within your natural walk of life, and having conversations that brings the norm around people in the everyday life, right? That's not oversaturated with lights and bling and, videos and editing and, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say, when it comes to, what are some of the things I think that you would forecast, oversee when it comes to like spirituality, and when you talk to people, because you're very intuitive, so you're able to see how people are processing. What do you think is the underlining thread between the people that you experience about what they feel intuitively? Do they have intuitive abilities? Are they psychic and not aware? Do you notice any things in any of your clients? Even just doing hair?
Yeah, oh, of course. I mean, like I said, I stop people and tell them all the time, like, you're so intuitive, and like, do you ever want to develop these gifts? And a lot of them are like, oh no, and I think people get, you said this just a little bit ago. I think people get super turned off and scared by all the, the engulfing and all of the words and the deep tunnels of all the stuff. And I think people, they get turned off by it. And so one thing that I loved about I think it was your weekly forecast, was like the word simple kept coming up. And like, that's the big secret I'm here today to share. It's such a secret. Everyone's minds are going to be blown. The trick to spirituality is just keep it simple and stay in your heart. It's like,
it's so true, because I'm like,
complicate things,
right?
Yeah.
Right, because spirituality is simplistic, and actually spiritual is being grounded, actually, and enjoying the physical experience, right? And I say, even the laws of this universe are rather simplistic. What goes up must come down. Look how simple that is, but it's complex, right? But same thing with spirituality. People think it's about what you're doing. It's not about what you're doing. It's who you're being. What are you being? What type of person are you? And I just see a lot of gluttonous, and I keep saying this, information hoarding in our communities, as just like, it's not helping. It's putting this hamster in a wheel, and it bothers me to see people in that bondage, and it bothers me when I see people feeling that bondage. Yeah. Right. And
especially with your history with some of these like horrible churches and these cults, like, of course it pokes at you to your core.
Because I've been through that.
Not any different.
It's not. No, it's not different at all. I actually think within our spiritual communities, it's a little worse. Because they're now exchanging money in a sense. Do this pay this, and and all that stuff. And at least if when you're looking at someone who offers a service, okay, I charge for reading, or you can pay for reading. You're paying something, you're getting something in return that justifies the exchange. And so it's been very difficult for me on this. But speaking of aliens, that we were before, what's your viewpoint on that? Because I know our good friend Devin Deer and I always have that extra sense about extraterrestrial connectivity. Do you ever have any type of information or connection intuitively?
Well, let me just tell if I know for a fact that my fiance is in the chat right now, for sure he's watching this and he's going, oh my God, she's so excited. Aliens. Like, I watch alien shit so much. Like, I love it. 100% there's aliens. Okay, so what do I think about them? Like, because I know there's the discussions of like, we're the aliens, they're the aliens. Like, there's so many, opinions about the aliens. I actually think that there are aliens. I think that there's aliens on Earth, and I think that they walk among us, and we might not know it. There is, I mean, I don't know, some of those clips you see online of like, oh, this person's an alien, like they name a celebrity. I'm like, that person's not an alien.
I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah,
right.
Or the cloning thing.
But like, they're here for sure. And then there's just too much hard evidence that of all the flying UFOs and stuff, like, they're here.
You know what I tell people too, because a lot of people think they see ghosts or apparition or shadow energy. I'm like, no, that's an interdimensional being that you're seeing, because there are interdimensional beings that jump between dimensionalities. They view us, they study us, they extremely learn from our evolution, especially being a very emotional creatures, how attached we are. That's one thing I've got within my channeling sessions, is that the extraterrestrials are really enamored by our connections, emotions, and our fixations, and how we integrate through emotions on this planet. And so, and I do feel like we do have guides that are extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings that do help and assist in the physical plane too. It's not just angels and spirit guides. I also think we also have connections with certain groups of extraterrestrials as well. I know a lot of people. I've watched Bashar. I followed Bashar for for 20 years. And saw him live many times. And and I agree with the process that we could also be channeling and connect with our future selves. Which we can call extraterrestrial.
Totally.
Alien just means foreign, right? So, but I feel, I don't know if you feel this too, I definitely feel like 2027 and 2030 is like where direct contact really happens for a lot of us. And it's more solidified when it comes to the connectivity and our relationship with the alien species, extraterrestrials. But I also feel too that the government's going to blame a lot on the aliens, which is why I feel like they're gaslighting us to saying, here's UFO files, here's this and that. They exist, because then they'll start blaming the aliens for things versus our shitty government. So they might be passing the blame. What do you think about that?
Like, any cop out that they can take, they will take it. Like, first off. So of course it's going to be the aliens' fault. And honestly, when you said 2027, because I haven't put that much thought into like, how is this going to play out? I'm just like, I wait for it all the time. I'm like, are they here yet? You know? But when you said 2027, I got a very visible like flash picture in my head of like that. So I can get down with that.
Yeah. And 2030, like, do you have any vibes or heard anything about like, because I feel like I've always said for the past like 15 years, like 2030, like technology, the financial systems have completely, evolved into a newer system, a newer paradigm. And because I know we're deconstructing a lot of that now, with our politics. And, I would say Trump is the disruptor. So he's here to disrupt because we need to break things down so we rebuild. And I feel like 2030, I feel is very more tech, advanced when it comes to, even with AI and robots. I feel like we were living more in that realm, and the financial system's completely different in 2030. I feel everything is different in 2030. Do you ever have a sense of those things?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And, as Uranus keeps climbing up in Gemini, like I think we're going to see a lot of that for sure. Look at the way it's going, that, it's obvious. Yeah.
Explain to those who maybe are not so versed, like explain Uranus and Gemini, like what does that represent, and kind of give us more of that, the goodness and the ingredients of what that means.
Yeah. So, well, I'm going to keep it simple because I like to keep it simple, but Uranus is, it's a higher octave of Mercury, which controls like communication, tech, things like that.
Right.
And then you have it in Gemini. So you just have this like powerful, electric, innovative of tech. Right? Like that's kind of the generation that we're in right now. So I feel like 2030 that's a pretty solid number. If I were people, I would write that one down. 2030 flying cars.
Right, exactly. But I want people to understand like what we're experiencing now, like because I was saying even before, like a lot of people are struggling in tight financially, but that's for a reason, like collectively, so we can really focus on the simplicity, what's important, as we can rebuild and restructure, and we need to detach from old systems and old materialistic ideas, right? And so, because I've been seeing it I don't know if you hear what your clients, a lot of people are just like, there's movement, but there's like a lot of the monetary stuff is still not moving for them, or they're making the connections, or they're getting these different opportunities, but the financial stuff is still stuck for them. I'm like, that's the whole point. Because we're moving and integrating things that are more important to us, Right.
Well, a lot of that is, right now we have Chiron, who's like, simplistic terms, the wounded healer, right?
Right.
Is moving out of the sign of Aries, which is like who you are. And so we've been healing who we are and moving into healing, how you value who you are. But also with it moving into Taurus is that we have to heal wounds of monetary financial stuff, right? And we're gonna feel it. We're gonna and you said that in the beginning of your opening. People are feeling like that financial hardship, those financial wounds, those monetary issues, and we're gonna feel it. But Chiron is gonna help to heal it, right?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So you were so astrologically on point with your read.
I have no clue because that's why I've been bombarded with astrologers around me the past like 3 years. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just confirming the reads, but I also should I learn and dive deeper and learn it, or do I like the fact that I'm next to astrologers that can confirm the psychic read? So, but I like that you said about the healing of that, because yes, I feel like even though the tightness, like usually I would worry about things being not so consistent like they usually are. But I'm like, I'm not, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more of that flow because the integration is complete. And I feel like July is the month. Could you give us a sneak peek of July's, astrological forecast too? Just a little sneak peek.
Yeah, I can. I mean, we're going to have Venus moving into Virgo. So that's going to be on July 9th, right? So, Venus is funny. We just had that big Venus-Jupiter conjunction, last Tuesday or something. And I'm so curious. I would love to know what people's experience was with that, because it was supposed to be like the luckiest day of the year, right? But it's funny because like Venus and Jupiter coming together, I don't know, kind of like anything, it could go really either way. I'm kind of jumping into that really quick, but
and you said, what date was that actually? What date was it?
It was on Tuesday the
16th?
9th. Tuesday the 9th.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, like, for instance, like, my daughter, who's a Sagittarius, got, like, violently ill that night.
Interesting.
And Jupiter's the ruling planet. Yeah, it is interesting. But anyway, so we have Venus moving into Virgo. So, your inner harmony can get a little nitpicky, or it could get, or it could just get shit done. Okay. Like, your inner diva is going to get shit done. And then we have the sun moving into Leo, which, you kind of said like sneak peek of July, that's where, I forget how you worded it, but you said something along the lines of, I don't know, maybe people shining, or you're going to really like stand. Did you say something like that? Like people shining in their power or something? And that's such a good time for that, because the sun's in Leo, and like, that's its happy spot, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah.
Because I feel like July, and I've said this for, last year when I did my 2026, predictions, I'm like, summertime of 2026 feels very integrative, very communal. People connecting and finding the right people, finding the right community, finding the right, spot, I guess. I'm trying to be simple in the terminology.
Right.
And I'm definitely seeing the preparation. And that's why I love kind of doing, which I started doing probably the last year, like more energy forecasts per month. And because now it's like giving people, especially with the astrology too, in conjunction to, they're seeing the build up to things. They're seeing the chapters to things, because I feel like people have to understand, what is the chapter you're in? The chapter isn't always about manifesting money all the time. The chapter could also be like, you need to fucking learn how to save that goddamn money for a change, or the chapter is healing your past wounds for your relationships before you get the relationship. So I think it's important that people understand the chapters, which I want people to understand the build up to things, and so they understand that's the focus, right?
Yeah.
And this way, when those planetary alignments burst into integration phase in July, they're ready for that. They cleared out the karma, they've plucked out all the fragmentation, things that don't belong, and they're in their true element. The natural flow, because I feel like July starts a lot. It's going to get chaotic after that. And so we got to be prepared too, but July is going to be a wonderful medium of 2026, I feel, with that integration phase, and celebration as well.
One thing you said was finding your people, and that's something I keep writing about a lot is, there was so much talk about, Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's such a big deal, right? Because Pluto doesn't move very often. And Aquarius energy, among so many things, is like your groups, your people, your tribe, right? Who you belong with. Mm-hmm. And I feel like one of the big things about Pluto moving into Aquarius was kind of the birth, death, and transformation of your groups, the people that you're with. Like, you might be moving away from groups you've always been a part of. Right. And sometimes when you do that, you can't see things, you can't unsee something that you've seen.
That's right.
And and then you're finding your people. And I know I'm seeing a lot of that, like in my clientele. I have people talking to me about it all the time with their friendship groups. Yep, I experience it, so that really struck a note with me. I was like, yep, that's a big theme for right now. Yeah.
And it's not just, and I think people also may just want to categorize it with people and relationships. It's also ideas. It's also interests. You might start realizing that's just no longer my interest anymore.
Yeah.
And people, as we know, we fall into this pattern of what I'm interested in becomes our identity, right? Which it's easy why cultists like to prey on that, because they understand to keep the consistency, they'll keep them on board and bound to it. But people have to understand, like, we also need to start trashing certain interests that, like, I've been interested, but why? Like, I haven't really been doing much with it, just kind of like shitting around in the cesspool of interest for no reason. And so it's not even just relationships, interests. Because, as when we shift interests, that puts us in a different community of people, different environment of people.
Absolutely. You stop eeting fast food and you start running, and now you hang out with the runners,
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of stuff happens all the time, and it's really just evolving.
Dude, that is my phrase, soul evolution, aligning the mind with the soul. Like that's always been my thing. It's about evolution.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you take interview questions on your show?
Oh, sure. It's been a while.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, warm up. No, I'm just kidding.
All
It's
right.
easy. But, I think it's important for light workers to talk about this kind of stuff openly because I feel like we always say things like, I'm human, I make mistakes. Okay, well, like what? No,
Yeah, sure.
I'm not going to ask you your mistakes. I just want to know.
You can.
What?
I'm open to it. Yeah.
I know, I am too. I will tell you all the dirty, whatever about me, whatever. What is your favorite part about yourself in your evolution so far in your life?
The favorite part of myself in my evolution of my life is I really feel like I'm living up to the objective and unaffected phrase I've been teaching for so long.
I love that.
I don't fear things happening. Like I said this a couple weeks on my live show. I was like, if I were to lose everything and had to be homeless, well, I'd fucking have a great tent to be organized. I'd be throwing music. I'm doing live shows and readings out there for people and having people gather on in. Like, I just find myself not being bound to circumstances changing. So I feel free to do whatever I please, how I want to do it. I'm becoming less affected too, by... It took me a while to understand there was actually people out there that were that dumb in certain aspects. Like, are people that stupid? Are people that malicious? I knew it exists, but are people really that low? And so it took me even time to realize, yeah, they are. And so, and my flip side to that is sometimes I'm fuck off too much, and I'm just like, oh, why even bother, right? So, but for the most part, yeah, I feel. I feel like every aspect of my life is like I have a great relationship. I love where I live. I'm great parents. I'm creative with my art. My business is always great, with my clients. And so, yeah. And I think that that's, to me, another representation that the conditional parts are peaceful, Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised on other platforms that I've been on, people saying he's sad, he's angry. I'm like, these people have no fucking clue because things are great. I'm passionate. I got heart. You don't like it? Bafangulo. But it's just, and so it's that stupidity of just not seeing things, and that it just really aggravates me. And then people like panting over like these fake gurus and kissing their asses over the stupidest crap. It's like, okay, but. So those are things that are my downside of my challenges. But in my own life, yeah, I feel more so that I'm living the embodiment of objective and unaffected to the most part. What about you, though? What can you say about your evolution?
My favorite thing that in my evolution, honestly, it's my resilience. I feel like I've been through some shit.
Oh,
and I always, I always show up. I always show up. And there's a lot of talk around, especially in the hair industry. We get it a lot. If you see it on social media, I'm sure you don't follow a lot of hairstylist influencers, but it's a big conversation about, we have to show up, we don't get to really call in sick without major consequences of rescheduling a day. And we have to show up and give, we have to care for somebody else and give to somebody else and show, and be there present for somebody else,
right.
and their needs. It's really a service industry. And there's a lot of mental health awareness to that. And I think it's important because you can't push yourself to extremes. But I will say that sometimes in my hardest times, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go to work. And then I go to work and sometimes my clients show up for me.
That's
you know what I
interesting.
mean? They're like, are you, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fine. And they're like, okay, well, what's going on with that? I'm like, oh, do you want to talk about that? And then it's but it's so, I don't know. I feel like I always show up. And even if I go, I actually have had a really hard last 18 months. And I didn't think I'd be here at Club Scott Cruz. I feel like I'm in a club. Your show is so cool. This is my version of a club, right? With your cool background.
The neon lights.
So cool. I didn't think I'd be doing that. I was like, oh, okay. Guess I'm out the game. So my resilience is my favorite part.
I totally hear you on that. And, I think that the resilience part it's a double-edged sword, because my Virgo rising definitely has a lot of that too. And, I think I also learned the balance too of when I don't have to be.
Right. Yeah.
Because we're on different phases of evolution, right? You had to probably learn the resilience, and I'm like, I need to learn how to take a step back and not do too much. I'm not trying to do it all, and and so I think that's a wonderful thing to understand too. Is that you can show up, the competency level, that you have and possess that.
You can learn and show up, right? Like you can learn from what happened and grow from it and show up, right? Not just like batter yourself to death. Which kind of makes me want to ask you, because what you just said, like, oh, I don't have to show up all the time. And like one of the things I'm trying to evolve right now is putting on my oxygen mask before I put on the person's next to me. I mean, again, I'm a mom, and so my kids suck the air out of all of the rooms that I'm in. Like, they have the biggest oxygen mask, and I'm like, But, and then, I'm in the service industry as a hairstylist. So I'm learning how to not, like right now, I didn't even say I'm in a hotel room right now, somewhere outside of Dallas, because I'm going to Brittany Carmichael's summer solstice tomorrow. I don't leave my kids. Yeah, she's having this great summer solstice, and I'm going tomorrow. I'm so excited. So that's what I'm working on. What are you trying to evolve right now?
I love Brittany, by the way, and I always refer people. A lot of clients of mine need like women's retreat type of connection. I'm like, look up Brittany Carmichael. She is wonderful with that integration, self-love, and successful womanhood. She's so fantastic, and I love her dearly. She's amazing, and she has a very keen eye to cults as well as I do. We call that shit out real quick. So, and it's easy to do when you do retreats. It's easy to look into that cult-like energy, but when you look at her, it's all about like celebration. There's none of that with her.
Absolutely.
It's just
zero.
It's zero. It's people, and she's wanting others to shine. I think that's kind of what her shine school is, right?
Yeah.
And you get that genuine energy from her on that. So I definitely would recommend others. So you have to fill us in too about that. But what were you saying? You're saying that
I was asking what you're trying to evolve right now within yourself.
To get out more, I feel that, it's funny. I think David Palmer just joined, and people were saying, hi, David. I was actually talking to David about this before, or actually Iggy about this before, about, do I really want to have a social media presence? I've been, so busy with my business for 14 years that I see those who have a lot of followers, all the garbage that they, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to find, I have, and I was talking to Iggy today too, like I have a lot of celebrities that text me with their problems and drama. And I'm always like behind the scenes, kind of like being the architect for that. And I'm like, am I meant to be behind the scenes or meant to be in front of the scenes? So I guess I'm trying to work on more of that, being a little more showy in that sense, and to be more an influence, because I really never really cared. I kind of turned my nose up at that, especially with YouTube and doing YouTube. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, if someone told me to be on YouTube, I was like, I don't want to fucking do that YouTube shit. I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want any of that stuff, and so look where I'm at, right? So, so it's being able to digest that and the different opinions, and people misperceiving you and all that stuff. And just, that's one thing I'm trying to really, get into gear and just say it is what it is. Because I got a lot of shit, I would say, on Serious Joy from people. A lot of love, but a lot of shit toward the end. And those of you know with that. And so I'm like, do I need to endure that? So.
Well, I think that goes back to finding your people, right? This Pluto and Aquarius, like find your people. Right. And I relate to that. Go look at my Instagram. I have like 38 followers, and guess what? I'm not going to do anything to try to get more than that, because I didn't have a social media presence before. I have never used one for doing hair. I've never advertised. I've never done a Groupon. Like, hard no. Like, that's all fine, but I am a word of mouth kind of person, and I've always been busy. I'm so busy. I'm flying home Saturday and I'm going into the salon. Like, I am over busy. Okay. So
I'm going to ask you something though, because do you ever thought about, because I think Devin and I have been trying to maybe get you more into doing this too. Ever thought about maybe doing, because we're going to get into actually the readings, the tag team readings right now.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about jumping in board and doing that more often?
Of course I have. I mean, I was doing that for a couple years, behind a paywall service. Right. And I was getting momentum of it, but that came to a screeching halt. So I'm here now. And like you're saying, should you be behind the scenes producing or should you be in front of the camera? Have you seen your face?
No.
You should be in front of the camera.
I can't stand it. I can't stand this. I look at it and hear this voice all the time. I can't stand it. But maybe like once a month we'll have you on to do like tagging, just to get you in that momentum of doing that. Do it if you'd like to, because you have a great perspective on it too. So let's see now. We have a couple questions here. We got James Porterfield. He wants to come on to do a live reading.
I
So
love James.
You love James, huh? So James,
I know James.
Yeah, James is awesome. James has been part of our Cruisyverse fam for a while too.
Yeah.
Okay, let me send him a chat to come or link to come on here. Let me see here. Between these apps, I feel like have gotten worse. James, look at your Venmo, because I'm going to send you the link to call in to chat with us. As soon as I can figure out why it's not allowing me to do that. So here we go. All right. Send that link. Okay, we'll send that, and then we have another question. We'll wait as he chimes in, and we'll answer another question here. We got a question from Abby Coe. Abby, do you have your birth date, place of birth, time of birth available for Heather to give you a astrological question? If you can, just put it in the chat if you feel comfortable with that. But the question is... Yeah.
I also have angel cards, and I can just go into it.
Okay, we'll do that too. So, yeah, so if you guys didn't put your birthday, she'll do the angel cards. The question is, I want to ask a question in regards to my sister and her feelings towards me. She has been taking some passive aggressive actions toward me that I have felt hurtful. I'm wondering if she has had some sort of unexpressed animosity or resentment towards me. Let me see about this sister energy, shall we? Because I feel with your sister, this is a competency issue. It doesn't feel like it's personal, but somehow your competence intimidates her. And I think that makes her feel like she may not be as valuable or as worthy enough in situations, or maybe can't measure up. And I know you're probably thinking, really? She feels that about me? It's like, yes, she does. And I think there's more of a level of insecurity with her more than anything in a relationship with you. Than not, because I feel like you're able to maneuver, at least in certain situations that be challenging, in a way that's balanced. You have a healthy approach to things, and she feels like she's threatened by this. And it's almost like you're reflecting to her. So I think you're more of a reflector with people too. You're reflecting to her that she doesn't have that ability to be that strong, as grounded as you. And so in a sense that intimidates her, but it also makes her want to pull back. But I also feel like she's expecting you to, be raw here for a moment, and being figurative raw. She expects you to kind of wipe her ass on things, right? And because you're not doing that, she's going to pull away more to make sure you can overly saturate her. And so it just feels a lot of entitlement insecurity issues that she has with you. So will that change? Will that resolve? Perhaps in the future it might change or resolve. I don't know if she will jump to a position to where she is fully open. But I do feel probably within this stroke of 5 years, she might come and have like more of a heart to heart about how she's feeling. So there seems to be an open door in the next 5 years. I know it sounds like a long time, but I feel like she has a lot of the inner work and confidence and grounding to do within herself to allow her to be more open to you, where I feel like she's not, I don't feel like she feels like she can measure up to you in that sense. So what, Heather, what do you get in the cards?
Okay, so like instantly I pulled this card. I'm going to try to show it. Whoop, whoop.
It's not backwards. Archangel. Okay, yeah. Or you can read it to us.
You see it?
Pull it back.
Is it working? Did I do it? Sorry.
That's perfect right there. Yes. Yeah.
Great. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Archangel, I think it's Samuel. I'm not 100% sure. I have a really bad pronunciation issue.
Yeah, I do too. Sometimes.
Okay, but did you stand on stage in front of 300 people and not know how to pronounce Yeshua? No, you did not. I did, and
Did
I
you do
will
that?
never, ever. Oh, yes, I did.
Oh,
And it was,
okay.
I lose sleep over it. Anyways, okay. So it says to open your heart to give and receive love, and your essence is love. And part of this archangel is, it's about meeting everything with love, even if it's challenging. And I know that that sounds so hard because you're having this issue. And trust me, I totally can understand the dynamics of it. But if you just come to a place where you're really in your heart and you are really meeting her with love, she'll, some of the things that Scott said is that there was like intimidation or something like that she feels a little intimidated by you. And so sometimes people have these like walls up with that, and it causes these great challenges. And if you just are like, that's okay, I still love you, could try to do that. And then also I pulled this card, and I love these cards because it kind of always tells me who I want to like say a prayer to or meditate with, and it's Archangel Michael. And Archangel Michael is so strong in my presence all the time, and when I am channeling all the angels, and I love that came up for you because I feel like that could be extremely helpful. So I hope that works.
And I think I understand, because I think Abby's ability to be grounded in relation to her sister, it gives her that protection in a sense too, of any type of unnecessary animosity that would affect her directly in a sense. Like she's kind of Abby's protected from that type of energy. And I would say protection comes from karmic lessons and karmic growth. There's a lot of things we've learned in our past incarnations that creates that protection around us because we've already been there, done that. So we also have this. That's what protection is for me in a sense. What Archangel Michael represents is we've evolved so much. We don't have to deal with that shit, so we're protected from that. So that's great, Abby. Hope that helps. And she did give her birthday, so I don't know if you want to tap into that. We have James backstage. James, bear with us 1 second. We'll be there in a moment. Real quick, so those who've had your questions in, those who put questions, make sure you put your birth date and time of day, place of birth, all that wonderful stuff. So, because we're going to tag team the astrology on that.
Okay. Do you just share it with me over here, or do I see it somewhere else?
Oh yeah, she put in the chat. So, but those will be private. She just put 5:31:81 and 5:45 p.m.
Oh, you're really fast. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm speeding in dollars here. It's Italian.
What was the time?
5:45 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did she give a location?
Yes, Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. Oops. When I used to do this with my friend Devin, I had like 15 minutes to pull it up.
I could give yes, 5:13.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm
not
ready.
31.
I just want to make sure, Abby, it's May 31st, 1981,
No,
Birmingham, Alabama.
May 13th. May 13th. Yeah, I said it backwards. Sorry. See?
Oh, did you?
My logistics. Yeah, 5:13:81.
I would have read her as one thing, and it would have been another.
Completely different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe just to keep it simple for time's sake, maybe just look at the relationship transit.
Yeah.
And family.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So she's got. You have your Chiron is in your house of relationships, and one thing we talked about tonight was that's where like a lot of your wounds are, and also too. Yeah, and you've got Mars right next to it. You actually have like what's called a stellium in Taurus in your 7th house of relationships. A lot of times we'll see siblings in the 3rd house, but since we're looking at relationships and some of the stuff you struggle with, I definitely could see that Chiron in your 7th house can keep you a little wounded in your relationships and having a hard time of moving on. So honestly, I really do think taking the stance of like asking for a spiritual protection to kind of like protect your heart, but also use your heart to go in, because anytime we go into these troubling relationships from our heart, it'll always come out on the positive side, even if that means that maybe you don't talk to them for 5 years, like Scott said, like this will get resolved in 5 years. That it sounds harsh and it sounds like a long time, but like sometimes, time heals everything, right? And so just make sure you're protected so you're no longer getting hurt, but go see it completely with your heart, for sure.
Yeah, and the heart might even be like, I have to give it space, or just continue to be a leadership to her. Could be an influence to her, and just understand that that's where she's at now too.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. We have James joining the threesome here.
Oh, awesome! Hi, James.
What's up, buddy? Can we do an audio test real quick? Can you just say testing?
Testing.
Oh man, you're all tweeters today. Where's the bass in that voice? Let me see. Let me get you louder here.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find a little plug in here for you. It's really cool to give Heather your information, birth date, place of birth, all that great stuff, while I try to get the audio.
Hampton, Virginia.
Okay, wait, hold on 1 second. Honestly, James, I was looking to see if I still had it, because I know I did at one point. Okay, tell me your birth date again.
April 24th, 1979. 8:59 p.m.
Okay.
I think that's for both. So let me see. Okay.
And what's your birthplace?
Hampton, Virginia.
Okay. So is that all the information you need?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was trying to look at the audio. All right, James, what's the question? And I'll start first, and then we'll pass it on to Heather.
The question is ever since my trip to Sedona, when I went up to the Rise of the Guardians conference and actually got to kick it with David up there, I've been in a really bad spot.
Can we fix your? I had you at full volume. Is there a way to that mic could be a little louder?
Let me. Is that better?
Try it again.
Is that one better?
Yes, it's a little better. Yeah, it's a little better. So you said you've been in bad spots since Sedona. So is that more kind of the question, like what you're experiencing? Is that where you want to go?
I just I'm in this cycle that I can't seem where I'm really stuck. I'm trying to
let me hop in
to move forward, but it's just like I'm.
Let me hop in for a minute because I get that. Let me see what you're processing. Let me see what you're kind of depriving yourself of right now, because honestly I feel that you need to be at pause right now. I think you're pushing yourself and trying to accelerate when you should not. And so you're almost like grinding the clutch and the gear. And it's like, maybe take a step back. You don't need to shift into second gear right now, because I feel like the experience you had in Sedona was very revealing to you. I think that a lot of the high vibe energy is showing you a contrast of where you're at in your home life right now. And so I think that's making you feel more deprived. And so your focus should be bringing that fucking energy into your fucking home right now. And if that means that you're actually, changing certain aspects of your decor, as simple as that sounds, or just bring more personalization to that, I think that you're trying to match an energy, or you need to match the energy that you felt when you're in Sedona. You're feeling that deprivation. Almost like the endorphin drop is what you're feeling right now. And I'll tell you this, no one's, right now, the way the collective energy is going right now, James, no one's progressing anywhere right now, just so you know. Okay? People are not thriving in their careers as much. People are having a lot of fragmentation going in their careers right now. In their relationships are either coasting good if they've been good, or breaking apart. So you're putting an expectation in yourself that's unrealistic to the current astrology when it comes to collective movement right now, that you actually need to start matching the energy and integrating the energy of what you've enjoyed that you have in Sedona and just bringing it home. Right? So you're not stuck. You're just not allowing yourself to do the collective pause that we're all being called to do right now. right? And we understand that you have a little bit of that self-saboteur energy that's bleeding in there too, right, James, that we've talked about before. So that's coming on in too, but you just have to understand you want to create the essence that you have when you're around the community within your home too, because they're saying to focus more on your home life right now, and the foundation of home.
Yeah, because in this stuckness, I've put myself in such a bad financial spot that I'm.
David says he's sorry that he was wallowing on his patio in his Airbnb, bro.
Yeah, that was. Oh
So
yeah,
don't feel-
that was some crazy conversations. That was an experience. It was awesome to have gotten to hang out with him and hear him tell some wild stories and whatnot.
But Heather, why don't you hop on in and kind of, because sit back and listen for a moment, James, right? We don't want you to talk yourself into more desperation or deprivation. So
Yeah.
let Heather jump in and make more sense of it. Yeah.
Well, James, you've got Saturn sitting on top of your Mars and your moon, your natal moon, pretty much. So Saturn is, it gets such a bad rap, but I am a lover of Saturn because, again, I talked about like resilience. Saturn is going to make you resilient. So Saturn is asking you to build some structure out of whatever you experienced. You said you came back from Sedona, so maybe you had some really ethereal visions and ideas and things came to mind. And now what are you going to do with it, right? Put some structure to it and get it like in motion. And that's probably why you're feeling this lull, because Saturn's on top of your moon practically. It's literally on top of your natal Mars, which is your action. It is your, you doing something. It is who you are. And it's making you feel groggy because you might not be doing anything with it, right? So I think it's like, it's kind of like a, don't sit and think and wallow too much. Like, try to do something with it. I pulled this angel card for you. Can we see it? I'm so bad at this. I'm gonna practice. oh well, it's off camera. Okay.
Is that Archangel?
Archangel Bakti, and a lot of it is changing the patterns in your behavior. Yeah, it says it's time to fly. Listen to your intuition. So I think you're getting in your own way, James. I think you have these great things, and I think you're getting in your own way. And Saturn is gonna grind at you on that Mars and that moon until you figure it out. Mm-hmm. So you got to flow with Saturn. You got to flow with Saturn.
Yeah, because a lot of it's not just communication with other people, it's communication with yourself and just allowing yourself to express it for yourself, by yourself too. Like there's a way that you could be able to communicate yourself to get it out. I mean, I'm just imagining, a person dancing their home by themselves, but just getting it out and purging that. So you're putting motion to that energy in any way possible, and finding ways even to take your breath work. And I hope you didn't freeze. Taking a way to take your, okay. Oh, you literally froze, not the video, you did. But ways of taking that was good, ways of taking your breath work and that ability to another level too, right? And I honestly
my breath work because I'm working. I have to bring in cash. So
okay.
So it's like I had to put that on pause.
Okay. That's okay. Well, everything's on pause right now, like we said before, right? So what I said, right? Enjoy the pause energy, right? And so, I think what you struggle with the most is the currents, right? And, understanding how to ride that wave of the current. And that's why, take advantage, I know that you also have, a lot of people that we have in common that you follow and that you're inspired by. And so take our notes of what the currents are and say, okay, this is my downtime for this. This is my downtime for that. And take that as valid. So then you understand this is my position. Grounding, home, I'm a pause, taking the energy I felt and putting it to a tangible communicative moment for myself, right? Do that now.
Look at this card that I pulled. Look, now I know where the
Divine
camera
intervention.
is, so now I got it.
All right.
But do you see it? It says, progress may be halting and slow, yet this is a blessing. Divine intervention is at work. All will come to fruition in perfect harmony. So okay, maybe, maybe it feels slow, but I still think because the Saturn's there, I think it's time to get the wheels turning.
Yeah, it's like
Right, but let me just clarify. The wheel's turning with you. Let the pause of the external world be what it is, because the movement has to be within yourself internally, and like I said, expressing it. Because that's where I think James might be having a little bit of the problem, is that dichotomy of being paused but having to also move, and I think that's a confusion for him. The external world, you're working, that's fine. Let the external world be on pause. You need to move. You need to express. You need to get that going, that channel flowing. Does that make sense, James? Because then when you understand the differences between the movement of self versus the external world, then you've mastered your ability to understand how to navigate.
Well, and I think Scott and I said that we struggle with that ourselves too. Like, we watch this social media post and repost and do all this stuff, and it's like we really just have to, pause that. Don't pay attention to that and what we're not doing, but pay attention to what we're doing and get that in motion. Right? It's the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if David's still in the room, but David's the one that inspires me. Like, God damn, he does so much, he's a machine like that. So I don't know if you're in the room, David.
David Palmer's a whole other beast. He's a whole other beast.
Bam, 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 bam. With that stuff, I'm like, I'm a beast in other aspects. I can produce an album in a week. So it's just, don't let what other people are excelling at, James, make you think that you're not excelling. You have other areas that you will excel at just as good, just as much. You know what I'm saying? It's just in a different way. Look at that dog.
I know. Do you ever work with animals, James?
Yeah, I haven't. I've been told I should, because
you should.
Animals just tend to love me, as I parent Luke's. Like,
dude, be a dog walker. Make money doing dog walking.
I know. There's that guy that's all over Instagram that's like the millionaire dog walker, because he's like the best dog walker in America.
Yeah. Any other questions, James? Any other questions before we move on to the next question that you have in relation to?
It's just, I guess because it's like, it's what I'm struggling with. It's like how to step into the next transition, so much so that it's like to where it's like I've gotten so stagnant to where I haven't worked in 3 weeks, and all I have to do is go out and drive. But it's like I have this like agoraphobia where it's like I can't get out the house for some reason.
But wait a minute, you just went to Sedona.
Yeah, that was back in May.
But I don't care. But you were able to go out to Sedona, be around people you don't even know, travel like you. That's not really agoraphobic.
Fun, but for some reason, it's like I just I guess on a certain level, it's like I'm really disliking driving for DoorDash and stuff.
Okay, but that's a passion issue. That's a passion issue, right? And I went through agoraphobia for about 2 years. I was riddled with anxiety. I couldn't leave my house, And so what I recognized when I was going through that is I was not doing things I was excited about at all. At all. Right? And so that's what we're saying. Get that going on in your home as much as possible for you, so you break that energy, you break that bondage, that cycle, the cyclical nature of like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not going anywhere enough. That's all illusionary. That's all external bullshit. But if you allow yourself to express it now, and I'll find something you enjoy doing now at home, ground yourself at home right now, you'll break that cycle. And then because you have to understand, if you're enriching your life with something, and I've made a post about this a couple of weeks ago, if you're enriching your life with things that don't necessarily make money, but you're participating in that and you're working, then you'll have the bandwidth to work. You have the bandwidth to do, it's just a job, because I'm doing other things I'm really excited about. So I have that balance to show up for the monetary reasons, right? The problem is you made work all about work, then now you're burnt out, and now you're like, I don't want to do that anymore. But now I feel stuck because you're not doing that. And you see the mode you got yourself in? Instead of allowing yourself to still express your passions and excitement to get that going, this way the job's like, okay, it's no big deal. And it's like what I said at the beginning in the collective read, finding ways to make what you're doing fun too. Find your ways to also connect with people in whatever you're driving with, and in your car, put on music and have ideas. Find ways to integrate passion and excitement in what you're already doing, even if what you're already doing is maybe just mundane. But you have to, that's because what's making you feel stuck is that you're all or nothing with it all right now. And that's not the position you want to be in.
That's my nature. It's like,
which it may be your nature, but that means that when you get something in gear, you'll lock that in. Right? So you just got to lock something in. All right. But we love you. For time's sake, we have to go on. But you got this. But I would listen to this back, James, and don't overthink. Like, I need more information. I need more. Just like look at what we're saying. Take the simplicity of it all. And say, okay, let me try to apply that, and watch what happens, and see how you'll start feeling more open, and less. I would say, suffocated energetically.
Okay.
All right.
Amen to that.
Thank you, both of you.
We
Great to
love
see
you, brother.
Heather. Love you too, Scott.
Hi, James. Good to see you.
Appreciate you, man.
We look. We're all here for you, man. You got a community of people that love you, brother.
I know. I just
Big time.
I struggle to love myself sometimes. Oh,
We all do. You think you're the only one? We all struggle. We're not immune to that.
I'm not saying I'm special. It's just it's my.
No, you're special.
Oh no, I mean I'm not. I'm saying I'm not special in that.
I know. I'm just busting your balls. I bust your balls. But just understand, like, we're all in the collective process too in different ways. A lot of us feel pause in so many different ways too. I'm feeling a little pause right now, but I'm knowing what to do with this pause right now and how I'm extending and expanding other aspects of my life that I can enjoy too. Doing this kind of collective pause before things pick up in July. All right. Love you, buddy. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk again soon, okay?
All right, take care, bro.
Peace out. Okay, let me assign. There he goes. Okay, so the next question. I don't know if Colleen left her. She did actually. Okay, Colleen, her birth date is 12/7/81.
Okay.
Let me know what else you need. Oh, when you're ready for the next, you're good. Don't worry. It's my tiny New Yorker. We're just like bada bing, bada boom all the time.
No, I get it. Okay, what's the time?
9:55 p.m.
Okay, where?
Thousand Oaks.
Really?
Yep. There's a lot of. I'm surprised. A lot of.
What's the name again?
Name's Colleen. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm surprised to see a lot of people my age. I mean, I'm born in 82. We've got a couple 81s up in the house. Cool. All right. So I'll kind of go through the questions first. First question
California.
is, Thousand Oaks, California.
Okay.
Her first question is, it feels like life is moving in an important new phase. Anything I should know during this transition? Let's see what I get on that. Well, first of all, let me see what phase you're in, Colleen. I'm just sensing environmental change. Like there might actually, because I was trying, the word that poked out for me was moving, and I'm like, I didn't want to be cliche about it, but I actually was feeling like relocation within the next 16 months. So there might be even a desire or a projection of moving to a new location or finding a new environment. I was also seeing a lot of travel. And I also saw a rug being pulled beneath you in a sense of there might be also certain relationships that have been kind of going into a different direction. So it actually does feel like a lot of new changes in this new phase that is kind of like tackling or at least hitting all the major dynamics in your life right now. So the thing you should know in this transition is more so about, being open to location and being open to the unexpected. Because I feel like you're going to be pushed in different areas or avenues that you might not have been projecting or forecasting that might come to oh my gosh, I never thought I'd be here type of ordeal. So being open to be outside of the box in that way. And the second question you have is Merry Christmas. That's for somebody else. That's another transaction. Sorry. Merry Christmas to you too, right?
Wait, what's today?
Right. Venmo shows like there are other transactions. I clicked on one there, the last transaction. Question 2 is, my pup has relapsed badly health-wise the last 1 or 2 months. Is there relief from anytime soon? Let me tap into the dog. I'm kind of seeing a plateau with the dog right now. So I don't feel like there's a decline, but it feels like it's on a plateau. So I don't see a full bounce back, but I see there's a potential for a plateau and a slight, there's a lift, a frequency to where he might be a little better. right? But say if he's here and he's had a little bit of a dip, I see him plateau at that dip and slightly better, and that you might see those changes within the next 6 months. I heard that there needs to be like kind of a dietary overhaul with this dog too. Perhaps there needs to be more of a diet that is particular to his needs right now. Because something feels very intestinal as well with him, and extra fluid I feel within the dog too as well. So, which could be respiratory too. So it'd be good to target these sorts of things. And again, organic treatments with dogs is very helpful and beneficial. I'm both Eastern and Western, and I don't think one or the other is the way to go. I think it's a collaboration of both can be very helpful. And so, yeah, I really feel a lot of that has to do with the dietary aspects and finding what really works for him in that sense. And then he'll be a better plateau in that sense. He doesn't feel like he's on his deathbed to me, but it feels like that needs to be addressed, it's interesting because they're saying he might need some grain. So I don't know if you question about grain free or not. I think he does need some healthier grains in his diet, actually. I used to be the no grain guy. I did ketogenic diet for 7 fucking years religiously, where I was doing 20 grams of sugars a day. Like, I was like on point with it, and I was shredded, but I was also depleted. So I bought into the no grain thing, and also with my dog, but then that was also causing a lot of issues with dogs not having healthier grains. So I would implement grains, healthy in his diet. Honest Kitchen is a wonderful brand that I use for my dog. He loves it. And so I would look into those foods with him, and go also Eastern and holistic with him as well. Not only Western. Okay. And Noelle says, she says, I love when they respond back. Wow, you nailed it. Oh my God, he's only eating protein and sweet potato, 0 grains. Yeah, get him on grains. Okay, and he has IBD. Okay, and that's why. And the fluid that I'm sensing in the respiratory, Noelle, has a lot to do with, when there's the gut irritation and so for that nature, that does cause some sort of respiratory issues as well. That I feel like that could be the fluid that's coming from that aspect too. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I would look into that. But your changes ahead too is like your dog is picking up on that as well. Your dog's picking up on all the changes that you're having as well. The move, the relocation that you might be projecting in the next 16 months, as I was saying as well as new relationships and a pulling of relationship. That's all going to be really good. Make sure you're navigating that in a very balanced way, so your dog, who is very intuitive to you, doesn't pick up on those anxieties either. Because I feel like he's also picking that up too. All right, Heather. So what is for the first question was, because maybe you can't do the astrology read with her pup, but her first question was more about anything she needs to know in life moving forward in this new phase. What do you see?
Yeah, and I just want to confirm it was December 7th, 1981, correct?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. Yeah, it's interesting. You talked about like a move or something like that. And one thing that's coming up in her chart with like current transits and stuff that's going to be transiting probably for the next 6 months to a year is that she might be making a move, something that is, I don't know, if she has something going on right now that is needs healing, that's like an old wound, maybe even with somebody. I'm saying she, like she can't hear me. I'm going to talk to you, okay? Sorry. And then it's so funny. So that totally comes up with like moving, relocating, changing things to heal old wounds to better suit your journey. And then this is the angel card I pulled.
Lavender, interesting. Very cleansing, lavender.
But it's really big on, it says just the basic reading is prepare for soul healing and forgive and release everybody. But especially if maybe you're living in an area or you're living with people or it could even really be, it could be working with people, but it's really, it's people that are inhibiting maybe your growth. And you're thinking about making a big change with that. And that's something that definitely could be happening. And really, I feel like, intuitively you have to go in with like, it goes back to like that gut feeling, like, if something isn't a right fit for you or isn't the right place for you. And if you need to move on to something that is more suited for who you are and what suits your emotions and what makes you happy.
And she said new phase building a business around plants. That's all about environmental. The stuff we keep getting about environmental stuff, and so yes, and I would get yourself acclimated, Colin, too, in conjunction with like what Heather was just saying about the passion. If your passion is working with plants and exploring different locations and avenues where you can actually dive into and express this, like be open to that. Definitely be open to that. But there's that healing thing. I totally agree with Heather from past relationships, and also pulling of relationships that is very necessary in this process so you can propel forward. Yeah. But definitely, I mean, I think you can agree with me, Heather, too, right? She's definitely in the right position. She's definitely in the right direction, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, you have, especially right now, like going through the house that rules your environment and the people you surround yourself with, the sun is shining going through there. So like your ideas are probably off the charts right now. You probably are having a lot of ideas and a lot of different paths and roads you can take. So get in tune with what exactly feels the best. And your emotions are probably like, especially right now, like super heightened with like what feels good. And I think you're going to get some clarity on that soon. I don't see anything coming up in her chart with her dog. It does show up sometimes in charts. And I don't know how long like he's been struggling with his stomach issues, but it could have been something that was showing up, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, a couple years ago, like if it started. But it'll come up sometimes in charts, but sometimes it doesn't. I think your intuitive read was right on.
Yeah, and she's also, it says lavender is in her diffuser right now. How interesting is that?
Of course it is, because like I said, your emotions are heightened, like you're in tune. I don't mean emotions heightened, like you're crying all over the place. It's like right. You are highly sensitive right now.
The sensing part is like, boom,
Your spidey senses are on right now.
Yeah. And I think it's wonderful to even connect with the plants at this time too, because plants are going to be your great energetic downloads for you, for sure.
Yeah.
But I was saying the dog too. I was kind of went off track when I was saying this about the grain-free diets. They've linked a lot of grain-free diets to heart disease, creating heart disease, and that's why I was set to inflict the fluid respiratory. That's what I was going to say before. So that can make sense why I was getting something with the respiratory in relation to that too. So I think you're on point though, Noel. I think it's all good, and keep going where you're going. And I guess hopefully our reads give you more keen insight of like what's going on and what to do with it, and how to process it. So. Good shiz, I would say, right? So, guys, if you want to get your questions, get them now because we're going to close them down soon. We have a couple left. So if you want to get them in really quickly. And next we have... This is for... I love Kathleen. Kathleen is... just wants kind of a simple birthday chart read. But, Kate, you left your birthday, but where's your time of birth? And place of birth. Can you provide that in the chat for us? We got your birthday. Just put the time and the location before we proceed on that. We have a question from Brandy Ainsey. See, I pronounced that horribly. Her birthday is 5/18/75.
Okay.
2:59. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There we go.
No, you're good. I'm on it. I'm
good. 2:59 a.m.
Okay.
And Atlanta, Georgia. And let me get with the question here. Okay. Okay, the first question is, I'm in a relationship that recently got closer to the point we identify as a couple. I'm surprised and I'm previously against getting too serious with her, but I am now into very much. Do you see this continuing? Okay, all right, Brandy. Okay. I think I feel like we predicted a relationship coming last time you had a question here. Because every time I see your picture show up, Brandy, I'm always thinking that where's that relationship? That relationship's coming. So I'm very visual in my memory. So let's check. Let's read this relationship dynamic. Let's see. I'm in a relationship. Oh, she scared the hell out of you. I love this. Yeah, because I feel like she came in. She came in like a the wrecking ball song. I'm thinking, right? She came in, and so, but the thing is, she came with a lot of grace. She came in with, just I'm here, I'm enjoying you, and that scared the fuck out of you. You're like, wait a minute, I don't know about this, and so, but then you start to realize she's consistent. This girl's consistent as hell. I love her. She's consistent, and I think that now you're starting to realize she hasn't changed. She's still here. And so I feel like that she's just remained her consistency with you. And so, yeah, it feels very, very integrative. And I think she appreciates your softness, actually. I think she appreciates your vulnerability. And she knows, she's being vulnerable. She'll get past it. She'll be fine. So this is actually the time for you to have a really meaningful relationship. Now is that time for you. And like I said, every time you send a question, Brandy, I'm always saying, where's that relationship? It's around the corner. And I think this is where it is for you. So enjoy this. And let me look at some negatives. I'm going to put your responses up. Yeah, she scared me, she says. That's cool. That's funny. And she's bold and direct, but I also love that. Yes. And that's why you're here, because I'm bold and direct too, right? And very raw. I'm not polished by any means when it comes to my approach. And but I like it that way because I feel like people need more down-to-earth energy. But this has a great, I would say, potential for longevity. So I think you need someone very consistent as her, very grounded as her. And then she appreciates, again, like your soft side of Sears. She appreciates that. I'm really dating myself, aren't I? Right?
I'll sing it right now if you want me to.
Go for it. Yes, Nita, videos are still open. Wait, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Why are you doing it? I didn't think you were going to do it. Soft side of Sears.
Please. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Moving on.
Yes, moving on. Yes, lives are still open, Nina. But yes, I don't really feel much challenges. I think the only challenge is allowing yourself to really let go in this situation. But it feels very balanced and very consistent for me and very solid. So I do like this. What do you get with the read on that, on your chart, at least, with relationships?
Yeah, well, happy lunar return, because the moon is on your moon right now. So that means that where the moon is right now is where it was when you were born. So it's always so fun when there's readings like this that come up when people's charts look like that, because I feel like it's so destined. So like what Scott was saying, about the consistency natally, so naturally when you were born, you have Venus next to Saturn, and I feel like consistency is really good for you, but it can also be a little scary, especially when it's integrating with your life and your lifestyle. And that's probably been happening. That, okay, like, wow, this romance kind of shocked me. And now it's like, okay, staying at each other's houses, but how long are you going to stay here for? Because, like, wait, you're going to leave your toothbrush here? Like, I don't know if it's stuff like that. But, sometimes when people start coming into our lives and our lifestyle, it gets a little freaky. But intuitively, I have like pretty good feelings around this too. So I'm curious what what the question's all about, but I definitely feel like it has good energy around it. I pulled this card for you, and it's Archangel Mallory. And the big thing with Archangel Mallory is to remember who you are and to stay strong in that. But that doesn't mean that you can't have other people in with you when you are this strong person in who you are and who you've always been. The right person can, again, with that word, integrate with that, right? As long as you guys are in alignment and understanding. So, I don't know. It sounds kind of fun to me.
Right? I mean, I like it. It sounds exciting. And oddly enough, too, I pulled the Lover's card, too. It was actually the card that I pulled for you. So, celebrate, right?
So sorry, you're in a relationship.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. So good shit. That's awesome. That's awesome for you, and I'm happy about that, Brandy. So yeah, every time I see your pictures, I'm very photographed. I'm like, where's that fucking relationship? And here it is. I'm happy about that. So that's wonderful. Okay, I think we have. Let me just double check my other. Kate, can just tune back in? Yeah, Kate, just can you put your day, time of birth, and location in the chat? Because I already have your birthday. And we'll do that. Let me just double check my other PayPal. If you want to get her birthday up right now, it's 2/26/86.
June 26th. Happy almost birthday. right? June 26th?
No, 226.
Oh, 226. Just kidding. Happy very belated birthday.
Or premature birthday, right? We're kind of in the middle
Right.
anyway.
Okay. And we're
What
waiting
zero?
for the time,
What the hell? Kate is hilarious. She goes 0015. What is 00? I don't do military time. Do you?
Oh, is it 12:15 a.m.?
Is that what 00 is? She put 0015. I guess is that 12? Because I'm like the military time.
Yeah.
I have no freaking clue.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Medford, Oregon.
That's so cool. I like Medford. Okay.
Kate, you're so funny. Only you use military time. I fucking love Kate. She's awesome.
Okay. I'm on it. Go for it.
Okay, so I mean, she didn't give a question, so maybe just like what do you see in her transits? I guess would be great.
Yeah. Well, you've got a packed house of expansion, growth, journey, adventure, traveling. I don't know if you have any travel plans right now, but you've got a lot of energy surrounding that. So it's a good time to travel if you're interested in it. Like a really good time to travel for you, actually. So that's something to think about. Let's see, what else? What else is going on here? Anything going on with like investments or money, but maybe not necessarily yours, like inheritance or anything like that? You could have some stuff highlighting that, or like, I don't know, maybe a fun, intimate relationship. Something like that.
Or maybe investing time in in their new relationship.
Yeah, sure. Investing money into a relationship? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
It's not a time to joke, Heather. Not now.
Let's see. I feel like you probably have a lot of healing going on with, I don't know, maybe your lifestyle, like maybe you're on like an exercise journey or a health kick, something like that. I don't know if something like that is going on, but it's like a good time to like get your health on track and like go to Europe.
Yeah, I can concur because I did, and the healing part is definitely like right on where she's at right now, and I feel like knowing from we've had a session, and I've actually been working with Kate, so that's probably why she just wanted to get a read with you. Is that she has definitely gone through a position of releasing the old entanglements from past relationships. And of course, I was saying to her that when she's in the process where she's finally disassociated from that, and there's this now burst of energy that will, again, like you said, with travel, with connectivity, and all that great stuff. So yeah, I think Kate really is to understand how to blossom in that. And so she says moving investments around. Yes,
yourself.
And she's
educating herself.
And she actually has been moving investments around, she says. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then, maybe educating yourself on your finances to like grow them. But you have a lot of growth, expansion, energy happening right now, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the focus is on new relationships more so, I would say, Kate, on this regard. It's more the focus on relationships. Okay. So yeah, we have a few more, and then we'll go. So Nita, if you could announce, we're closing the readings now because Heather, I don't want to burn her out. And this is her first time in a while, and yeah. So we should close out. I'm trying to find if I have my overlay so I can put that. I'm losing my overlay, but yeah, readings are closed. We have next is Pamela Johnson, and we'll keep this really simple.
Okay.
10/20 49. I don't know why I waited on that.
49. Okay.
And it's Toledo.
What was
Ohio.
the time?
3:25 a.m.
Okay. So good that I'm comfortable with silence. because we have this quiet moment.
Well, I was looking for the overlay because I had to put the readings closed overlay on there so people don't watch. I'm like, oh, you better.
Oh shoot! Sorry.
Yeah, I can say, and then I'll get to the question. What can I look forward to in the next few years? Example: health, money, and love. Okay, let me see. Just to generalize that, because those are two different questions. I'm going to look. Okay. As far as like with love, I'm just still sensing it like a travel or trip or something like that is what I feel. Some sort of a travel or trip, which connects to love. So perhaps you'll get your relationship. I feel like your current partner might be, not moving and kind of stuck in a routine. But I feel something switches with that to where there's like a travel or a vacation that you guys take that kind of nourishes that a little bit more. But I also feel like you have to start, in this relationship, be more vocal about what you need and tolerating less, because I feel like there's a lot of that friction of tolerating in this relationship that you have, and that needs to be resolved within yourself, but also resolved within the relationship too. And so I think a lot of that realization will come to verbalization in the next few years, and that might change the course or dynamic of the relationship. And so he might try to say, okay, well, let's take a trip, let's take a vacation, let's do something, because I don't feel like he wants to lose you, but I also feel like he's not getting off his ass either. So so there needs to be some of those changes where you do speak up to make those changes in this relationship, right? And I feel like it would either end up to where he starts stepping up to a certain degree, or you go in another direction, actually. So you actually will be at a fork in the road in the next couple of years when it comes to that relationship. Because it just feels like there's a lot of guilt surrounding it a little bit on you. But if you speak up, that actually could work in your benefit, actually. And, with health, I think a lot of what has to go with health is just more focus on that. I'm not sensing any major health karma at the moment, or anything with health that needs to happen within you to wake up and so forth. So just more of an emphasis of focus on health. I feel within the next couple of years feels like a plateau with health. There may be some instances that, health concerns that may pop up, but then also they just neutralize, and, you're able to get yourself back on track in that regard. So a lot of this emphasis is more about speaking up within your current relationship, and especially with external relationships like family members, and finding a better way to soothe a lot of these relationships that might be fragmented. But I see you doing it, though, at the same time, too. What's in our transits, Heather?
Yeah, so when it comes to health, definitely stay clear on what's in your best health interest. So, like, be your advocate. Stay really clear on it, and be involved in it. Don't let things fall to the wayside, right? Like, you have nothing that I see that's like, alarming. It's just that we always want to make sure that we're our own advocate, and we're checking up on something if something is ringing our bell, right? As far as the relationship, as Scott was talking, I was looking at this, and then I was also kind of like intuitively digesting it. With what you have going through your chart right now in relationships, you can be blindsided by a little bit of like illusion of like hoping somebody is maybe something that they're not, right? And sometimes this transit that's going through your house of relationships, if you let go of something that isn't really working for you, it also can bring in like an ethereal mental love, right? Also, what Scott said about traveling, you do have energy for unexpected travel, for sure. So if the opportunity arises, maybe if you have a partner that, isn't going, I forget how you put it, like, isn't moving but isn't going anywhere or something like that, or isn't moving or whatever. I don't know what you said, but maybe it's just a conversation like, hey, I want excitement, I want love, I want fulfillment, we got to make this happen. And maybe they're like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then that to me is a really good sign. But you definitely have the energy there for some really spontaneous travel that could be super fun. Yeah, but just keep an eye on making sure that you're not pulling like the wool over your own eyes with anything.
Right. Makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything you want to say in closing that we've kind of finished the reading aspect? Anything you kind of want to, any insight? Or, I mean,
A final message?
hold on a second. Your response is like, I don't know. I'm not the fucking guru here. You're like, well, what am I going to say? Maybe give people for the rest of the week, maybe you could just show the transits for the rest of the week and just say, hey, this is what you expect for the rest of the week. And we can close out there.
Yeah, well, I kind of said earlier too that I was, going off of what you said, that we're leaving this transit of like healing who we are, and then now learning how to value that person, right? So, okay,
Right.
here's who I am. I've healed it, and I'm here, and now I'm going to value this person, and I'm gonna do something with it, right? It doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. I'm going to do something
Right.
with it, and then also healing stuff around finances. I think the world as a whole has been struggling. Like, we're not blind to see that monetarily and financially things have been a shit show, right? So, like, start to heal yourself with that and get comfortable and confident with yourself with that, and you're able to move forward. I also think too that by the end of this week, we're going to be moving from this energy that was like slow and steady wins the race to take those thoughts and put them into action now. So a lot of like, and I kind of keep seeing this, and I have to agree with it, a lot of like, okay, I'm healed, I'm ready to work now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but
So
I also think too, people put too much emphasis on healing too, and make healing a full-time fucking sport. When it's like
It's not.
your growth is what's actually going to heal you, right? And the evolution is going to heal you. And so many people are just like, oh, I'm healing. I've been healing for 20 years. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I've been healing for 20 years, And so I think people just put the different emphasis. But stay backstage. I'm just going to close up, and this way I can disperse the earnings that we've made today and just sign you off. So this way we can get you to bed soon. So thanks for coming on, Heather. Hope to have you come on again and share more.
so
And
much.
so thank you so much. And just stay backstage. I'll be with you in like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, there we go. Okay. You all been great. Heather's wonderful addition, of course, to our crew, our family, and so forth. So you could check her out. She's not on social media so cleverly, so hopefully we'll get her getting a social media account and all that great stuff, and have her I want to get her started doing readings too on the side. So hopefully we can tag team more often. And like we said before, guys, it's go back to our initial collective reading we're saying before. It's all about simplifying right now, guys. Okay, it's all about understanding what you can participate and put nurturing energy into now, into right now, the things that are before you. How are you upkeeping the things that you have, your health, your mental health, your home life? It's about that integration of self too, and understanding that you're clearing out your space, you're fluffing up your space, you're personalizing your space, you're making things more refined to who you truly are and want to become as well. Keep it simple, keep it cliche. Now you want to embrace those little bumper stickers that I always resist, but embrace those right now, because that's going to do a world of good. And if things aren't simplistic and things are bringing like complications, they gotta go. Again, don't confuse complications with complexity, because complexity is beautiful. That's dynamic. We need complexities. That's dynamic. That gives us enrichments in life. But complications, you ain't got time for that. All right. So I'll see you all next week. I won't be taking off next week because I don't have LOL anymore. So I have more free time to divulge into my show, which I'm actually pretty thankful for. I do want to make a quick little statement too, because I have to just, I promised I would do this, is that, there has been obviously those who know and those who don't know don't need to worry about this, but those who know that there's been, public, announcements regarding Christopher and David, and there's some tension there. They go back long history, and I just want to make it clear that there's no animosity with Christopher and I told him I would make sure I'd be clear about that although I decided not to work professionally with him, that we're still being cordial, and we're still, I'm there for him as a brother, as he needs, and so forth. So we don't have that animosity. David and Chris go way back, and they have so much complexities there, and that will resolve. And so you're seeing people be human. We're all human. We're all going through our transits and our transitions, and so be patient with what's going on and learn from our experiences too. But I'd let Christopher know, like, you know, my ending isn't harsh with him and he's not being harsh with me, and I'd make sure he'd understand that is professionally just going a different professional direction. So and there's still a lot of love between, you know, even with Dave and Christopher, there's still a lot of love around, and so there's just a lot of challenge when it comes to longevity and conflict relationships and the transits and all karmic connections, and it can be very complicated and complex. But you know, just want to leave that there. But I will see you guys next week. Some point I have to do Psychic Game Night again. I'll let you guys keep informed of that too. But until then, I will see you all next week. Much love. Remember, guys, you're the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. And let's hope I have my video here to close out on.
Doesn't look like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You still like to summon your end table. Too.
I got that. We're crazy.
Yeah. I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Oh, Cameron's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat I'm living it.